Welcome to Leaders Lead Podcast. Are you ready to conquer your challenges and achieve greatness? Join us as we dive into inspirational stories of industry leaders who have overcome adversity and reached new heights. Get ready for electrifying insights and captivating conversations that will ignite your passions for success. This is your go-to show for empowerment, growth, and leadership. Buckle up. Leaders Lead Podcast is here to take you on a transformational ride.
Hey, welcome to Leaders Lead the Podcast. I am not in my studio. I'm driving in my car, and I just wanted to talk to you from my lips to your ears as I'm driving. So if you hear raindrops dripping, if you hear the windshield wipers, I apologize. I am going to do my best to make sure that it's cleaned up a little bit once I get back and do some editing. I just had to get this message out to you. I had this realization, me and my daughter, I was driving her to school, and I asked her what was one thing that she was proud of. And I'm not going to tell you what she said. That's her business to tell. But one thing that I said that I was proud of as far as me, because she asked me, what are you proud of? And I said, somebody gave me a compliment about the podcast. They actually said that you're the podcast king. And typically what I would do when somebody would say something like that, I would say, well, nah, man, nah, dude. I've been playing down like it's not that big, not that big of a deal, because I've always kind of felt that way. The things that I do are not that big of a deal. And then she said, okay, what about internally? And that kind of took me for a loop, because I'm just like, man, this child of mine, oh my God, who raised this kid? Like, she's telling me to go really deep. And I started thinking about other things, and it was almost, along the same thing as the compliment, being able to accept compliments. But the thing that I am the most proud of right now is the fact that I've been very intentional, very, very intentional in working through this extreme amount of empathy that I've carried my whole life. I remember that, with my mom, she would hurt herself. I would see my sister hurt herself or whatever they were going through, like slip, trip, fall, whatever, and I would just feel it, right? Or someone would be upset and I would feel it, like the whole day, just feeling this upsetness or just feeling it. And, it was like no matter who I was around, I was feeling. And, I can look back now and say it was just a case of having extreme empathy, and that never really changed. Even if my kids are having a bad day, if my wife is having a bad day, it could be something that I've seen on Facebook. Somebody says, give my family some prayer. We're going through a hard time. You know how you see that on social media quite a bit. Simple stuff like that. I could not know them, or I could know them, but I would be deeply, deeply affected and deeply impacted by the fact that they were going through some hard times. And I think empathy is good. I know having empathy is good, but this extreme amount of empathy is not so good, right? It's not so good in business. It's not so good in just the everyday life. I've been very intentional on that. When I go to my meditation retreats, I would say probably the last quarter. Yeah, I would probably say the last 3 or 4 months, that's been something that I've been focusing on. I'm also in a Power of 8 group where we all get together and we work on each other's intentions, and we meditate on each other's intentions with the hope that we'll work through whatever that is, and we envision that person's intention is actually happening. And that's been mine the last several, is because I would get this really deep, intense feeling of pain and sorrow from other people. And what I'm proud of is that it's subsided a bit. I don't think that it's at a normal level, but I'm not as affected by people. If I walk in the room and, there's folks crying, I do offer up my love and I try to support them as much as I can, but I'm not as open to fully opening myself and trying to fix that situation or trying to fix that issue. As a matter of fact, it's not good to do that. And sometimes you make it worse when you're trying to fix it. And so, yeah, I'm learning. I shared that with you because I want you to know that none of us is perfect. I don't think we should strive to be perfect, but I think that we should strive to fix the things in our life that we know do not serve us. So think about the things in your life right now that you're doing, or maybe somebody else is doing in your life that doesn't serve you. It could be external or internal. It's our responsibility to fix those things. We don't have control over everybody else, but we do have control over what we do. We do have control over ourselves. So I want to leave you with that. I also want to ask the folks that are listening to this, subscribe to the podcast. If you are subscribed to the podcast, I would ask you to leave a review. That would really help me. It would help me a lot. In the past, I haven't been so good at asking folks for reviews. I know that it is important. It helps the show grow. It helps other people find the show. And I'd be more intentional with doing that. I used to feel really weird about asking people to subscribe to my YouTube channel back in the day, and now subscribe to my podcast. But this is me coming out and asking you to do the same. And I know that the folks that are listening to this, I know that you will not disappoint. Last time I asked y'all to do this, I looked up and I saw the podcast being featured in Amazon's Audible podcast that you should listen to. And I thought that was really cool. And I was very grateful. I'm definitely not doing this for the accolades. I'm doing this to support other people. I'm doing this to support myself. This has been a really cathartic journey for me, and have an opportunity to talk to amazing people throughout the world, amazing industry leaders. It's definitely made a difference on my life. And if you listen in on these conversations, you listen in on some of these bonus episodes, if it's made a difference on your life, I would definitely ask you to subscribe. If you listen to Apple, you listen to Spotify, you listen to a couple others, I definitely would ask you if you would be willing to subscribe on all of those platforms, all the platforms that you listen to, and leave me a review. Let me know what you think about the show. And if there's some topics that you would like for me to discuss on the show, please let me know. I'm definitely willing and able to do that. We talk about entrepreneurs, we talk about success, we talk about the things that entrepreneurs go through. We've really been diving deep in some of the mental health struggles and challenges, because I realize that it's a topic that we don't talk about enough, especially when it comes to entrepreneurs. And my goal is to be as open as possible in talking and telling you about some of the things that's gone on in my life, some of the things that's going on with me in life, because it's not perfect. My life isn't perfect. I have people that reach out to me all the time and just say, give me praises for this and that, but I still have my struggles. I still struggle deeply with anxiety. I still struggle deeply with some of the things when it comes to being an entrepreneur, some of the things that I have to learn and figure out how to do, right? So right now, to be completely honest with you, I'm in the middle of a website crisis where I'm just like, all of a sudden, one of my domains just disappeared. So that was really weird. So I'm trying to figure that out, right? And I tell you that, I don't want you to feel bad for me, don't feel sorry for me, but I want you to know that I'm a human just like you. I want you to know that we all go through things, and what matters is that we don't take the things that we go through lightly. We take advantage of those things. We grow through the things that we go through. So with that being said, I really would appreciate if you would subscribe to the show, if you would leave a review for the show. All fives would be super dope. Even if it's a 4, just send me a message and let me know what I can do to get it to a 5 and then send a review. But yeah, thank you so much for everybody that support the show. I really appreciate it. And I'll talk to you later. Bye.
Remember, I'm here to stand by you as you chase your dreams, lead with greatness, and continue to make a difference. Don't forget to subscribe to the podcast so that you can be notified every time we drop a new episode. I'll see you next time on Leaders Lead the Podcast. Peace.